broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh my God. Hello, everybody. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV, another Survivor recap here. I'm your host, Jerri Manthey, sitting here with the lovely and talented and oh so sexy Justin Walter.
Thank you very much, Jerri Manthey.
We're having a moment right now because
I just learned some new info about Jerri that was very interesting about her getting on Survivor.
Yeah, very interesting. I thought you already knew that story.
I did not. That's great.
My whole story about how I got on Survivor
now people
season
what
2.
Happened? What happened? Well, this is what I didn't know. I didn't know that you tried out for season 1 and didn't make it, and then you got called back for season 2.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I did. I heard about Survivor when I was driving home from my bar job at the time, and I was just like, a chance to get out of LA and win $1 million? Are you kidding? I'm all over that.
Oh my gosh.
And I sent in the lamest tape ever. Just a little note for you guys who want to get on the show. Don't tape yourself in a robe holding a puppy and a cup of coffee talking about how you should get on Survivor.
Do you still have a copy of the tape? Because I would love to see it.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure I have
Find it next time.
somewhere.
For our Halloween episode, we're going to put that on. I could pull up, I have like 20 tapes. I could pull up one of those old ones.
Oh my gosh. I do have a copy of the one that actually did get me on the show.
Ooh, I want to see it.
But yeah, the second season, they contacted me and said,
we liked you.
Lynn Spillman was just like, I know you from past shows you've done. You're great for the show. Your first tape sucked.
Wow.
Send us another one. I'll give you 1 week. Ready, set, go. It was like the first Survivor challenge ever. Ready, set, go.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, so I taught myself how to edit. I put together this amazing audition tape.
Season 2 had the most applicants of all time.
Did it
after
really?
After season 1, yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
I know it did, but I don't really have like sound numbers.
Yeah, like 300,000.
51 million people watched, for Survivor season 1 and the finale. So season 2 was the biggest to try and get on. So
yeah,
kudos to you.
Thanks.
You're just amazing.
Yeah. Shucks.
Now, where's Ryan to say, Jerry's a raging bitch?
Yeah, see, we're sitting here again without Ryan. Thank you, Ryan.
Well, this is the problem. Ryan thought the show was at 6 p.m. today and not 5 p.m. when he's been tweeting that, he's going on at 6 p.m. all day. I don't know where he got that.
You guys want to take a random caller?
Oh.
Well, sure.
Whoa.
We haven't started. Let's go for it.
Jeez.
Caller, you're on the line with the Survivor AfterBuzz TV After Show.
Hi, my name is Michael from Maryland.
Hi, Michael from Maryland.
Yeah, I called the first show.
Oh, nice. So you're a loyal fan, huh?
Yeah. I have a question for Jerri.
Yeah.
Oh.
In Heroes and Villains, when, Candace got voted out, was she supposed to go home, or was Rupert supposed to go home that time?
Oh, as far as our decision for her to go?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to remember what happened on that episode. Because I know there was an episode where Rupert was supposed to go. I don't know. Maybe it was that one.
She's going to do her homework and get back to you.
I know.
You stumped the player that was in the game.
I know. I'm like trying to remember because I know Rupert a couple of times I was gunning for him. I was like, we got to get rid of him now.
Like he faked, he pretended to have an idol, and then you guys voted for her with Rupert, Colby, and Rupert.
Yeah, we knew he didn't have an idol. Sandra actually was the one who said, trust me, he does not have an idol. And we didn't know that Sandra was saying that because she, in fact, had the idol. Which, looking back on it now, it was pretty obvious.
Wait, Sandra had the idol?
She did, and she didn't tell anybody. Remember, she...
And you mixing up seasons, Heroes and Villains.
Yeah.
It was Parvati and Russell that had the idols.
No, Sandra had the idol. She, at the end...
Yeah.
Remember that season? There was like 50 million idols.
Gave her the idol.
I know, but
not right away until Tribal
Sandra
Council.
ended up having one.
Yeah, at Tribal
the end.
with you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm confused now,
Yeah.
Jerri.
Now we're all confused.
Jerry's just confusing me.
Thank you for that question, but I think I'm
Thank you
pretty
for
sure
calling
that
in.
night Rupert was supposed to go and something happened.
Wait a minute. One of the biggest moves in Survivor history was when Poverty had 2 idols and gave you and Sandra an idol. So Sandra didn't know. She didn't have the idol.
That was earlier on. It was later on that.
When JT was still in the game.
Yeah, see, that was way early, right after the merge.
All
It's
right.
like when she played her idol when Rupert got voted out.
Exactly.
Got it.
See, she
Yes.
pulled out those 2 idols right after the merge when we got JT off instead of, because it was my birthday.
Aw.
I remember that. Well, thank you for calling in with that question.
All right.
Thank you so much. Well, here's one thing. I'm just going to rag on Ryan a little bit. He is doing this dream jobbing social media, trying to get votes to win the VH1 Morning Buzz social media correspondent. If you can't even get the number, the time right on your own talk show for Survivor, Ryan, you better check your social media skills at the door.
What? Oh, snap.
Yeah, but we're still voting for you, and we still want you to win.
Yeah, vote for Ryan. He'd be great at that
Yeah.
job. And I'm sure, if he's getting a good paycheck, he'll show up on time.
Oh, snap 2!
Oh my gosh. All right. So this episode, we got to jump into this.
Yes.
What was it? Blood is Blood.
Yes.
Is what it was called. And right off the top, we get a swap, right?
Boom.
Yeah, right off the top. My first note on this swap is why 2 bags, Jeff?
No. Here's why.
Please tell.
Because they swapped the teams in half, so it was each bag. Right when he threw the 2 bags, I read it was, why are there 2 bags?
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
1 bag, people.
But what they did was they wanted to switch up the tribes half and half. Clearly. So what they did was each bag had half blue, half orange, half blue, half orange. So it was a dead even split. And the thing that I'm not 100% against that on Blood versus Water is because usually if there's like 8 versus 4 and there's a half split, the 8 will go 4 and 2 and 4 and 2, which would be completely unfair, and the 4 would usually just take out the 2. Jerry's like looking at me so confused.
What the hell are you talking about? I'm so glazing over. 4 and 2 and 5.
I'm explaining this, and Jerry's eyes literally are glazing over. So let's pretend it's not Blood versus Water, right? And there's one tribe like Coyopa that has lost all the challenges and they have a minority number. And then there's a tribe that has more players. That tribe, if there were an even split half and half, they would be the majority on each of the new tribes. Because they have, let's say, 8 players, 4 and 4.
But it was 7 and 7.
No, it wasn't 7 and 7. The tribes became 7 and 7 because Coyopa, there were 19 players to start off with. We have 14 players left. 5 players went home. Coyopa lost.
No, there's 7 and 7.
No, now they're 7 and 7. So we have 14, but going into this episode, we already lost Coyopa, how many? 3 or 4 members, and only 1 on Hunapu.
Oh my God,
You get what
I'm
I'm
so
saying?
confused. No, put it all in one bag. That's what I'm saying. If you want to really throw odds out into a game where odds obviously always play into place, throw one bag with the amount of people there are with 2 different colors in it. Period.
So and that's the thing. They have done that in the past, and we have seen tribes hardly even switch. So that's why they didn't do that this time, because they wanted a switch.
Which is they're trying to make it more interesting.
And
blah blah blah.
On Blood versus Water, what I was trying to say that I'm still not getting, and I don't know how to explain it more. I feel like I need a diagram.
And that might help. I'm a very visual person.
But
there's a dry erase board over there.
Since there's already so many intertribal connections, if you split it half and half, and even because look at each tribe right now has a majority of former Hunapu members on it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So the new Hunapu tribe has 4-3. The Coyopa has 4-3. Get what I'm saying now?
No. It's okay.
There's a majority of former blue on each tribe. No. There's a former. Each tribe has 4 former blue members with 3 original Coyopa.
You said blue.
I know. It's Hunapu. People. Okay. Each tribe has 4 Hunapu and 3 Coyopa.
Okay, got it.
Right?
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just seems to me like if you really want to mix it up, just throw one bag.
The breakdown, no, it is. Each tribe has.
But Okay, I will say
a
this.
minority of original Coyopas, but it doesn't matter because it's blood versus water.
Right. Okay, so moving on from that, which I'll probably never understand, but
oh my God! After the show is done, I'm like drawing a diagram for you.
Please do.
And I will take a picture and post it.
And I'll show you that flint that's in my glove box.
Oh, I'm posting a picture
that
of that.
I forgot.
All right.
Okay, so what we basically ended up with was Hunahpu ends up being Keith, all by himself, the only single on a team with.
No, he's on Coyopa now.
Okay, it's Coyopa. Sorry, Jesus. Keith by himself, the only single with John and Jacqueline, who I got to talk about in a second. Kelly and Dale, Missy and Baylor. Then we end up with Hunahpu being Josh and Reed, the only couple.
Yep.
With Jeremy, Natalie, Alec, Julie, and Wes.
Yes.
Now, okay. First, I got to say this because it made me totally disgusted and I wanted to throw up all over
kissing?
the TV. There was way too much kissing going on.
They're in love.
I don't care. Keep it under wraps, man. It could have totally backfired on them because I'm sorry, but I don't want to see people making out and I don't want to hear what we like to call mac and cheese. It's that that sound people make when they're making out. Ugh, it makes me want to throw up. So I was like, you guys, please quit making out. And, Baylor and her mom are like standing there going, oh, that's so cute.
You're the hottest couple.
You're so hot. And then they were referred to later as the couple everybody wants to have sex with. I was like, okay, enough of this. You guys haven't brushed your teeth and no one shaves their legs. Give me a break.
At first, I thought it was adorable. Not going to lie. But then after a while, I was like, too much PDA.
Too much.
I would get annoyed with that. If they're on my tribe, I would get annoyed. Have people ever had sex on Survivor?
I think maybe Rob and Amber.
Okay.
And possibly maybe even Rob and what was her name?
Oh, the big boob girl.
Yeah, I think
from his original from Marquesas.
I think.
Oh, I can't remember her name right now, but
I know.
Yeah, I can picture her exactly.
Yeah.
Where there was a whole sequence where she was being brought in or
like
something.
Like the Queen of Shiva.
The Queen, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So Rob has been the only survivor to have sex twice. This is very speculation.
This is not a proven thing.
This is not really good.
I never had sex on Survivor, even though I was accused of it. I will say it's just gross.
Who were you accused of having it with? Coach?
No, everybody thought that Colby and I had sex. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, we were so gross. Like there was nothing sexual going on.
Well, then we even said like blood versus water. The first time we speculated like are Candace and John gonna have sex? Now are John and Jacqueline gonna have sex? Who knows? Maybe we ever talked to one of them.
She did say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited I get to sleep with you now."
Yeah, but I just mean that means cuddling.
Yeah, whatever.
So Jerri, I'm gonna try one more time.
Yeah.
You look at that tribe, Coyopa, right? The three couples, right?
Right.
That means there's one member of the original Coyopa and one member of the original Hunahpu within each couple.
Okay.
Then Keith is on that tribe. He's the fourth.
Right.
Meaning there's a majority of 4 original Hunahpu, 3 original Coyopa. The original Coyopas are in the minority of that tribe.
Okay.
Get it? Now in the other tribe, you have Josh, Wes, and Alec. Oh my God!
I don't like math. I hate
Josh,
math.
Wes, and Alec with Natalie, Jeremy, Reed, and who's the other person?
Wes, Baylor. No, Alex. No, sorry. Jeremy, Natalie, Alec, Julie, and Wes.
And Julie. So you get it. Now, there's 4 original Hunahpu versus 3 original Coyopa. There's 4 original Hunahpu on each tribe.
So what? That's not the point.
But that's what I was saying about why.
One bag, Justin.
Hashtag one bag. I get it.
Hashtag it's only fair.
But they didn't do that because they wanted a true split.
Right. And I mean, I will say this. I do like the way it ended up because now we have this really interesting dynamic because Josh and Reed are the only couple on their tribe and Keith is the only single on his tribe. And you would think that automatically that the majority would team up and get that oddball out. Yeah. But tonight proved
not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, and I'm actually very excited with the way it turned out.
Yeah,
but I'll let it go.
No, we got it.
I'm gonna hashtag. I'm letting it go.
We're on the same page now.
So I thought, okay.
Well, here's one thing. So after the swap, we'll go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I got to say, I was very excited to be coming in here today to talk about rice, which we all know.
We're going to get to that right now?
I'm very famous about my passion for rice.
Yes.
And this was the rice episode. Totally.
I'm ready to go off on this.
Oh, me too.
You go first. Start it off.
Okay, because, all right, we get to Coyopa, all right, and who's making the rice? Missy and Baylor are making the rice. Missy came from the tribe that literally has
2 scoops,
1 fingerful, a thimbleful of rice left, and she's put in charge of making the rice. Bad mistake to begin with. Obviously, if it's your camp, technically, when someone else comes into your space, it's your camp. Yeah. You've been there longer. You know where everything's at. You guys built everything. Dale goes into total protection mode and freaks out. Okay, I understand where Dale's coming from. I understand completely. I also understand how Missy has no idea that she's doing something that's upsetting someone so bad. And I love that Kelly took her dad aside and said, look, Dad, let's get a little perspective here. We're playing for $1 million. Yep. Despite whether we have a little bit of rice or a lot of rice, we're going to be starving regardless. Yeah. So let it go. Just let it go, right? And he couldn't let it go. It was crazy time over the rice, and I'm like, I can just see it.
But and also, it's that Coyopa has half a bag of rice left compared to Hanapu's 2 scoops.
Yeah,
so
barely even 2 scoops.
But Baylor, she's on the tribe Coyopa that has been rationing the rice 1 scoop a day, 1 scoop a day.
Why didn't she stop her mom?
She was like, put more in, Mom, put more in. She was like egging her mom on, like, that's not enough. I want more. Yeah. And then the whole rice argument and just. Missy, like, wow.
Yeah, I don't understand the outcome of this episode at all whatsoever.
I think the bigger rice debacle that pissed me off is how the other tribe has 2 scoops, right? And they're all about, well, it's time for us to negotiate again with Jeff.
It's not a flea market, people. This is not a shopping trip. You don't just order more rice. We are in
season 29 of Survivor. You think that people would figure out how to ration rice. And the fact that all of a sudden, it's like, if we run out of rice, we're just going to bargain with Jeff for more rice. Like, that's what we're going to do now is if we lose our flint, we're going to bargain. If it gets too hard out here, we're going to bargain with Jeff. No! This is Survivor. What are you like? It pissed me off. And what I wanted to hear last night is after they won immunity, after Hanapu won immunity, and then Coyopa walked away, and they said, Jeff.
Oh my God, Jeff, we're out of rice.
And he's like, whoa, how much do you still have? Some left? Yeah, we need more. We'll talk later. No, what I wanted Jeff to say is, hey.
Tough.
This is Survivor. You want more rice, you give me immunity, and you go to tribal council tonight.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to hear.
That's what I wanted to hear,
wanted to hear,
give me the immunity idol.
Yeah. And you will go to tribal council. Are you going to sacrifice a member on your team for a bag of rice? Because that is what goes on in this game. If you don't sacrifice a person on your team for rice, you're not getting it because it's your fault. You're making the decision on how much rice you're eating.
I can't agree with you more. I was absolutely I was floored when he said we'll talk about it tomorrow. Like, Jeff, come on.
I mean, we're going to see what he offers.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it is he's going to make them trade.
Yeah.
But on the same time, I'm just kind of disturbed that it's even up for discussion. No. And he says that these people need more help than any other tribe in Survivor history. Not true, people. Not true. In Africa, they didn't have water.
Yeah.
They didn't have water because it was full of elephant poop.
Yeah.
Like, there have been people who have been in, like, dangerous situations where they are really hurting. And these people who, by the way, there were so many shots of them sitting there going, we're so hungry. Look at that flock of birds over there on the beach. Gosh, they'd be really tasty, wouldn't they? I'm not going to get up and get one. Are you going to get one? I'm too lazy to go actually catch a bird. Let's just look at them and lick our lips. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
And when he said, like, this is the worst tribe I've ever been, I was like, There have been so many other seasons where the conditions of where they lived in were so much worse. China, for example, they were living in a swamp the whole season. Africa, they hardly even had water. There are lists of seasons where they had it so much worse. The reason the bag of rice is empty is because they chose how they were going to ration it. They chose poorly.
No, they didn't choose to ration it at all.
They didn't. That's their mistake, and they should suffer.
Is their punishment.
They should suffer.
They should suffer.
I literally was like, when this scene went down, I was like, I cannot wait to talk to Jerri and Ryan about this, because it pisses me off that literally it's like, you should have to vote someone out for a bag of rice. This is the precedent it's setting, that if you lose Flint, if you don't have fire, if you don't have rice, we're just going to trade something.
Yeah, no.
What is the trade offer going to be? I'm going to be very interested to see next week.
Me too. But I mean, I got to say, you're absolutely right. This is setting a precedent. And what's going to happen from now on is every other person who gets on Survivor is going to think, well, let's just eat the rice.
Yeah, then we'll
what
trade
the hell?
something.
We'll just figure something out. We'll give our firstborn a bag of rice or something. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, I want a Jeff. Jeff, come on, explain to us, why were you being so nice? Because I know that you are not nice when it comes to people being stupid.
I don't understand how this has never happened in 29 seasons, where it's so lackadaisical on being smart with surviving.
Well, there's been a lot of instances where people are being lackadaisical on building a shelter.
Yeah,
and
but
I
not
found an
food-wise.
old clip. It's on my Facebook page. I found it the other day where I got really upset and never made the show, but it was like a secret scene because we had like crazy, horrible storms and our shelter sucked. And everyone was just like being lackadaisical about it. And I was in the same passionate situation we are in right now because I couldn't believe nobody was being serious about building a shelter after spending a night shivering inside the trunk of a tree. So there's a lot of crazy crap going on Survivor with people being lackadaisical, but I think this is the first time anyone's been so like, let's just make a deal with Jeff over this.
Yeah, I mean, because think about it. Okay, you had that terrible shelter. You didn't then go to the next immunity challenge or tribal council. Hey,
Jeff, we need a tarp.
We have a terrible shelter. Can we have a tarp? We'll give up our fishing hooks for a tarp. No!
I know.
No!
This is disgusting.
This needs to end.
Yeah.
Please, end the negotiations.
I want Jeff to show up next week with that huge... Did you see the size of that bag of rice at the end of the episode? This monster that's like the size of like 5 children comes in, and then I want to see him go, okay, I want someone to cut off their hand for this bag of rice. Like, I want to see something really drastic and disgusting.
I want to see that. I think the most drastic thing in Survivor is, if you want this bag of rice, you're going to vote someone out.
Yeah.
I think that's the most dramatic thing that could happen.
That'd be super cool. Because that, the tribe...
And then nobody else in the future is ever going to, like, eat too much rice because they'll have to vote someone out.
Right.
Or they'll be like, hey, we have some dead... They'll pull a Drew.
Oh, good God.
I'm just going to eat all the rice, so we have to vote someone out.
Well, that would be very interesting because, to recap the new Hunapu tribe, we have Josh and Reed, the couple. We've got Jeremy, Natalie, Alec, Julie, and Wes. And... we don't know what they're going to do when they do have to go to tribal council. Are they going to, go after one of the couple? Are they going to go after another single? Like, I'm really interested how that's going to play out.
I think what I would put money on is Josh is so good that he is going to keep Wes and Alec on his side, and all he needs is his boyfriend, and his boyfriend's going to go with him. I feel like the fact that we saw
Alec?
Alec is with Josh,
Okay.
From the original Coyopa. I think the fact that we saw Jeremy's really like sharp.
Yeah.
Like immediately he was like, okay, even though Reed is on my original tribe, he easily is going to go with his boyfriend.
Yeah,
so
he knows.
we need to get the singles to stick together. So that's when he and Natalie come up with the idea
to surround and drown.
Surround and drown Alec, which I think is smart if you have a smart player, but I don't think Alec will go for it eventually.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I love how Natalie pointed out the obvious. She's like, Alec is just like his brother Drew. They're like the same exact person.
Yeah.
He was laying in a hammock.
So ridiculous.
Just relaxing again, complaining about being hungry.
Yeah.
Like it was the same thing all over again.
Yeah. I would love to see Alec switch to the singles, but I think that was the mentality of, okay, it's going to be singles singles versus couples. But when this tribe sees this tribe walk in and they see Kelly gone, that's probably going to take out their mind. Oh, they're not playing as singles and couples. They're actually like playing the game. Whereas I think it'll be less of a, oh, we have to go after Josh and Reed. We have to go after Josh and Reed. I think that it's going to go Josh will get Reed on his side. And it's funny that Jeremy is saying, like, he's already dismissed Reed. Like, Jeremy has been 11 days with Reed on his tribe, and he's already basically saying Reed's going to go with Josh. Like, so clearly they don't have a tight bond, you know.
Well, I don't understand why Jeremy didn't then go with Reed. Because then Josh, that's 2 people.
I know.
Yeah. We have a
guys.
Is this Kat?
Is that Kat?
Hi.
Kat, what's going
Kat
on?
from Survivor One World.
Hey, and Blood versus Water.
Blood versus Water.
That's right. How are you doing, Kat?
Hey. I'm fantastic. How are y'all?
Oh, we're good. We're good. I'm glad you could make it today. I know it was kind of last minute.
I know. Well, I had a lot going on today. Like, my dad is in the hospital, and I was working, and and Ryan told me, he's like, hey, like, it's at 9:15 East Coast time. I go, okay, perfect. I can go home. I can shower. And then he goes, oh, wait, crap. It's like in 15 minutes. And I go, oh, shit, I'm still wet.
Well, we apologize for Ryan being terrible with his time.
I know. What the hell is going on with Ryan? He's got so many things going on. He's a little distracted.
He's a busy bee. Anyhow, but it's good to hear you guys' voices. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, the best, I mean, before we get into hearing your opinion on the season, the best thing before you went on, you know, you texted Jerry saying that you want to, you know, make sure you're dry. And then Jerry responded, it's better to be wet.
I was like, I know. I was like, oh, my word.
I couldn't help myself. But, you know, my mind goes right in the gutter every chance it can because it doesn't go there very often anymore.
So you played Blood versus Water, Kat.
Yeah.
What are you thinking of this second go-around of Blood versus Water?
Oh, God. I mean, it's a little bit... I feel like that my season was a little bit more exciting just because I saw so much returning players. But this season, like, it's cool. Like, they're playing totally different than we are. Like, ours is a shit show. Everybody was constantly crying. It was like every single time you came to the duel, everybody was crying. Every single person on every single tribe. And this one's like, shit, they're gone. Okay, no big deal. Let's go, guys.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of that has to do with returning players are so psychologically damaged from the first time they played that it just kind of brings up a lot of extra crap. And then you're looking at your loved one. Yeah, we're a mess, man. Just so you guys know out there, we're a hot mess. If you've been on Survivor, you are officially psychologically damaged for life. Just saying. It's a warning.
Absolutely.
So, Kat, what did you think last night about the hot couple? Because I'm feeling like that would have been you and Hayden's role if you guys were on this season. Like, making out. Like, we were having this little discussion about all the kissing. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean that one hit, like that was tough to watch. That was like, oh God. That was. I mean, if you want my real opinion, like honestly, like
of course,
I turned it off. Like, I turned it off. I turned it off. I was like, okay, like that's a little bit much for me. What's on American Idol? Like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, if anybody is listening to anything that I have to say about being in a relationship, and I mean, even Tyson, he won my season, and he couldn't have that experience with Rachel the way that Jacqueline and her, you know, fiance to be is on Survivor right now. So nobody is going to understand that the way they did, which is really nice. So I especially on Blood versus Water, so I really enjoyed watching it for the moment, but then I had to turn it off.
Well, you know, I think one of the things that really has set in for me is this season, there's a lot of relationships, and I don't really consider that blood. I mean, even if you're married, you're not blood with that person. But a lot of these people are just, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So it makes me wonder, like, in the end, how much that's really going to come into play because you're still playing for yourself if you're just in a relationship.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just honestly for real. Like, it's just like so different than when I've actually played this game and actually watching it. Like, I feel like I'm like looking at it, I'm like, man, y'all don't give a shit. Like, y'all don't even care. Like, y'all don't care about your loved ones. Like, it was like the biggest deal in the world, because when I was going out there to play, like right when I knew that I was going to bring Hayden, because mind you, I got casted to play with my cousin Rob for my level visit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so I was actually casted to go on Survivor without having anything to do with Hayden. It was just me and my cousin Rob. And then my cousin Rob couldn't play, then my sister couldn't play, then my dad couldn't play.
Whoa.
So then I was like, okay, can I please have my boyfriend Hayden play? And then CBS had to make some huge strings, and they finally had him play. Long story short, when we went out, yeah, it's like that. When we went out there to play, it was a lot different because me and Hayden lived in 2 different states. We never got to see each other. So not only were we trying to win and play Survivor, but we were really trying to spend time together, and we were trying to like really develop our relationship when we were playing this game, mind you, while trying to pull us apart at the same time. So
yeah, totally.
Watching this relationship couples, it literally looks like people were just kind of put out there, and they're like, well, honey, it's not a big deal, like, blase, kind of go about their merry way. But for me, it was, and Hayden, it was a lot different. Like, he's already won a game. I was trying to beat him in my game, knowing that if I took my loved ones to Final 3, I would replay it in my head over and over again, knowing, like, okay, if I took Hayden to Final 3, he's going to beat me, so now I have to tell him that I have to get rid of him. That's what I kept thinking about all the time.
Wow.
And that was devastating for me. So it was a mind, blank.
Yeah.
How long were you 2 dating long distance before you went on Survivor?
Almost like a little bit, like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Whoa, okay.
That's a long time.
I think, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. Honestly, we lived to, next subject. Can we change subject?
Yeah. Definitely. We can change subjects.
Yeah.
So, who do you think is running the show, who's going to be in the end on this season?
Is it bad that I don't have a favorite yet?
No.
Is that bad?
No, not at all.
Good, because I don't.
I'm going to say
I don't either.
By
don't.
episode...
Honestly, the first second, I didn't really care for what's the older gentleman's name?
Dale.
I didn't really care for him, but just he said one little thing on the tribe, and I didn't get to watch. Mind you, remember I turned off this seat. I turned it off because after Jacqueline was kissing so much, I was like, okay, girl, I get it, I gotta go.
Oh, you didn't see the whole rice fight? The rice fight?
No. So enlighten me. What did I miss? What happened?
Oh my God! Basically, both teams imploded because one had no rice, the other had half a bag of rice. The one with no rice got mad because they had no rice, and so now they're trying to negotiate with Jeff next week for a bag of rice.
It's crazy.
Oh my God!
Can you believe it? Seriously.
It's we know what really bothers me the most is that from last season, okay, mind you, I'm watching a little bit this season, but I keep having a tendency to kind of veer off a little bit because I'm like, okay, what's really going to happen next? But last season, it always seemed like something was going to happen, and they knew how to play, and they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
But this season, it feels like, hello, what is everyone doing? Where's everyone at?
Are you trying to say they're all idiots?
Where's the idol digging? Stop eating all the damn rice until day 9. What the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah, well, they're out of rice.
I do agree with you that last season had a ton of super fans and crazy players, and it was such a great intense season because everybody wanted to win. They had that passion to win. Whereas this season, it's more of kind of that they're not as intense. They're just kind of a little less intense. The people that I see playing the game the most are Josh and Baylor and beyond, and Jeremy. And beyond that, it's I don't really see people hard playing the game. And like you were pointing out with Jacqueline and John, it's lovey-dovey and kind of, okay, we'll do this together, but it's kind of boring a little.
Boring.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah, it's kind of boring.
So I mean, and then on top of that, these are the type of seasons where you're oh, no. You can kind of see what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And you're
what is it you think that's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen?
I think one of the gays are going to win, personally. But I just honestly, just because they're the only people that are strategizing and thinking on their feet. But mind you, I can't even tell them apart. I don't know which one's which.
You really are watching this with what can I turn the channel to?
Wow. Well, so you didn't see the part last night where Josh and Reed, they basically shared that they are a couple that has decided to be abstinent until they get married.
And they've been dating for 2 years.
Yeah.
And Josh revealed last night that they have not had sex and they're waiting until
they
marriage.
Get married.
What are your thoughts on that? Kat, go.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Does that really technically make them gay if they haven't had sex?
I don't know. It's mind you, remember, what day is it right now on the season? Is it like day 12 or something?
It's in between 12 and 13-ish.
Look, all I'm saying is that you haven't lost your mind and that you're not that hungry yet to be, busting that kind of, saying those types of things yet. And I mean, that's really personal information. Like, I don't know. Like,
it is personal information.
Good for them. Honestly, if that makes them happy, good for them. But I can't really, I don't know. I've learned to keep my mouth shut now. I'm not talking anymore. Thank you very much.
Oh, Kat!
I know. I tread lightly these days, ladies and gents. I've grown up a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Kat's all grown up.
Well, Kat, you've actually sat in here with, subbed for us, and that's so if you're ever in LA, let us know and get you on here.
You know what, Kat? Before we let you go, I got to remind you, you still owe me $20 for wearing your 10-inch heels in that club.
I love you, Jerri. Oh, so listen to the story real quick. So my heels hurt so bad that I had Jerri trade my shoes. But by the way, girlfriend, they look cute on you. No, for real.
They did look cute on me.
They look so
This
cute.
is adorable.
So I took her shoes.
Poor thing, she's like in the bathroom. This is in Orlando at our big charity event. And I hear this voice outside, and she's just like, "Oh my God, my feet are killing me. They hurt so bad. I'll pay anybody in here $20 to just wear my shoes and trade for me for the rest of the night."
Oh my gosh.
And I had flip-flops on, and I come out of the bathroom, and I'm like, "I'll do it. What size are they?"
And Jerry's like, because honestly, they were like boots or something, right? Like they looked like Jerry's type of shoe.
They
so
did.
It's like, here you go, girl.
I don't think I've ever worn heels that tall in my entire life. I'm lucky I didn't break something.
I love it. I love it. So many good tidbits.
You guys are absolutely fantastic, and I love talking to you both. So hopefully one day I'll come and stop by.
Come visit me, Kat.
Yeah.
I know, Jerri. I was on AfterBuzz the other time, and you weren't there. Both of you two were on
I know we were traveling. You subbed in. I know.
That's right. Well, next time.
Did.
Yeah, get in here.
Next time. All right,
And
Kat.
give Ryan a hard time for us.
Night.
Thank you. You too. Love you.
Love y'all.
Bye-bye.
Love y'all. Bye.
Cute. So fun.
Oh my gosh. I've been wanting to ask her for that $20 for a long
You
time.
finally did it. It's off your chest.
I took a big risk wearing this. I'm not even kidding. They were like
my
that.
gosh.
You know the style now.
I
or the
love
heels
how
are like that.
I love how she basically said, "Yeah, they were hooker boots, so they would fit great on Jerri."
No, she did not say hooker boots.
Fine, cowboy. Let's say that.
No, boots.
What do you think about the abstinence comment that came out of nowhere?
It totally came out of nowhere. I like hearing people's backstories. I like hearing Josh's story about how he's a preacher's kid kind of scenario. I've heard of these stories before in other, places, and I always feel for people who come from that background and then kind of feel ostracized by their own family and their own community and all that. So I know it was a big deal for him to come out.
Yeah.
That was a very, very personal thing to share.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have to agree with Kat. If it's something that works for them,
Totally.
who am I to question it?
Yeah.
My mind starts turning. I'm like, oh my gosh, does that mean Josh is a virgin?
I don't know.
Because then he just seems so pure and innocent to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it definitely changes the whole dynamic of how you look at somebody.
Totally, and I think.
And he said, "I'm very dedicated, and I'm very strong. I mean, to be abstinent at his age, and to promise to wait until you're married, that takes a lot of self-control, which is very useful in the game of Survivor."
Good segue, Jerri. and I think I was just on some Thursdays I go on Lance Bass's XM radio show, and I'm the reality TV guy.
Whore.
I whore out my reality TV love and passion for talking about, and I talk about Survivor there.
Sure.
And we talked about, what is their definition of sex? Is oral sex these days considered sex?
Oh.
Or is it actually penetration and that sort of thing? So it's kind of interesting, and who knows?
Don't ask Bill Clinton.
And, but it's also what's the definition of sex when people say they're waiting to have sex and that sort of thing. But regardless,
orgasm. I think that's the definition of sex.
It's different for a guy and girl orgasming, so it's a little different.
Yeah, you're right. What am I talking about?
We need Ryan to be here to be very blue.
Ryan!
But I think, yeah, if that's something that's part of your life and your faith and your religion, good for you, great. But then, there's also people who would say, are you kidding me? You got to test drive that, that chemistry before to see if it's good.
You have to. I think so. I think it's pretty, but whatever. If it makes you guys happy, I'm happy for you. So we had no reward challenge, no exile. Yeah. Right? And I knew something was missing.
No, that was weird to me because now we're going to see next week, do they go back to exile? Like they're going to, because how it was working was it was a pair and that sort of thing. So is exile completely eliminated now because the pairs are not, think about it.
I wonder.
The only tribe that has pairs separate are Keith and Wes. So is exile now going to be gone, or is it going to work where each person sends someone in without knowing who they're going up against, that sort of thing. But then basically each tribe would send in like Jeremy and John, so it's kind of who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah,
we'll see next week. Is exile gone, or is it modified?
Next week's going to set a lot of precedents for a lot of different things for sure. Yeah, so I mean the immunity challenge was pretty one-sided.
Jerry, let's test your memory.
Yeah.
I had a pet peeve last week about the challenges. It continues. Do you remember what my pet peeve about all these challenges are? Yes. Why does every challenge have to end with tossing a ring or a bag? Every immunity challenge this season is do some activity and some strenuous physical activity. Like this time it was, again, everything this season is crawling under shit.
Yeah.
So whoops, I said
mud.
Shit.
Oh my god, that
so
mud.
It was like crawling under the mud, and and then they had to
shake a basket, which was just crazy to see Coyopa like shaking it. They were like barely moving it. I'm like,
they were jiggling it.
It was crazy because here's another thing with every immunity challenge we've had so far. They've been so one-sided that they're not even fun to watch. They're just like,
well, and then the last point, after they shook these baskets and the 20 sandbags were released and they gathered them, then they had to pick 2 people to toss the bags, and it was just like, really, another tossing challenge? Like,
what was so funny?
Can we not do tossing anymore?
After they crawled underneath through the very dark mud, by the way, that is some really intense mud. Then they shook the basket and all the debris falls. It was like they all got tarred and feathered. They look like tarred and feathered people by the end of the challenge, and all I could think was like, oh, that's gonna be such a bitch to get out of your cracks.
Yeah. Oh gosh. And even though I'm complaining about all these tossing challenges, deep down it's really because I want to compete in all of these challenges.
I know you do. And Justin,
they look like so much fun. I love it.
You would love to toss on Survivor. I'm sure.
I would volunteer to be the tosser every time.
You're not even gonna touch that.
Just putting all those Survivor fans out there, CBS.com/casting. The Survivor applications are being accepted right now.
Ooh,
so
for season
I gotta make my video 31 and 32.
Oh,
my
wow.
lucky number in life is 32, so I really feel like that might be my season.
Justin, we're gonna get you on there.
Yes, Jerry.
I'm gonna do whatever I can because
yes.
Jerry. I'll say it like 20,000 more times. I've never met anybody who needs to be on Survivor more than Justin. Period.
You guys, I could die a happy man right now.
That's
crazy. Like the biggest compliment from you, Jerry.
You're welcome. And there's also another guy who I don't know why he isn't put on.
There's no other guy. We're gonna move on.
Well, Steve Kazel, I don't know how to say
Another one of these people.
He's been the first person in line at every single open call since season 1.
Well, we are loyal fans.
The first person in line.
Good for him.
Like, seriously. Like I said, I've said this before. They should do another season where it's super fans who are actually super fans.
Spencer, Tony, all these people.
But everyone, all 16. Don't tell me you can't find 16 people out there that are crazy about Survivor.
We're ready.
Come on.
We got it.
Super fan season. I think it's like so perfect because it's people who want to be there and want to play hard and want to be on Survivor more than anything in the whole entire universe. I see the passion in your eyes, and I know that would translate into an amazing season. Come on, you guys over there at CBS.
It is like really sad when you live, breathe, and every day think of like getting on the show.
It is sad, but
it's so sad.
That's why
true.
I want you to get on because I want you to live it, and then I want you to come back emotionally damaged so that I can hold you while you cry. I'm here for you, Justin.
Thank you. This has been like, now we're in therapy. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. So what did you think of Coyopa lost, but then it basically became the John and Jacqueline decided what was going to happen?
Well, I was, okay, here, I mean, I see they were the swing couple. I don't think that's ever happened before, that there's an actual swing couple.
Yeah.
But I still do not understand why Kelly went home. Because if it was me, I would have chosen either Dale or Missy.
I know why.
Why?
This is why I would send Kelly home. I think John and Jacqueline made the right decision. Because if they're going to pick a side, they're the swing couple. They have Kelly and Dale coming to them saying, let's do it. And they told them, we'll be with you. They have Missy and Baylor.
Yeah, they shook on it. They had like a whole bonding moment and everything.
They have Missy and Baylor saying, let's do it. And they agreed with them and Keith. So they're in the middle. They send Dale home. Kelly is good enough that people will like Kelly and be able to maybe get people to go against them. Kelly could have a relationship with Missy because Kelly did nothing to Baylor. Mm-hmm. Kelly and Missy were on the other tribe and actually got along, and Kelly and Keith were on the other tribe. So if you keep Kelly in the game, Kelly, Keith, and Missy and Baylor could then turn on Jacqueline and John. But you keep Dale in the game, Missy hates Dale, Baylor hates Dale. Dale is never going to work with them. So then that keeps John and Jacqueline in the power position, and I think they made a brilliant decision to send Kelly home. Okay. That's my analysis of it.
I could see that, because if they sent Missy home instead of Kelly...
Oh, no, Dale. If they sent Dale. Think about it. If Dale went home, Kelly would still be left with those original Hanapu.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking that, if they had sent Missy home instead, then... Got it. I could see why they'd keep her around, because she was really annoying this episode.
She was. I liked her too.
I know, but the whole rice thing is always such a touchy thing. Shelter and rice. Those are two things that just cause people to go disconnect.
Yeah. I feel really, 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 really times a million bad for Kelly, because Kelly's game was screwed up because of her loved one.
Yeah.
And she went out there. She's a huge super fan, wanted to play the game, and her dad.
That's right. She's watched every single episode of every single season ever.
That sucks. I was pissed for her because, honestly, I think what she could have done, which no one is doing, is recognize everyone hates my dad. I should just go against him and get him out. But that would have been a move.
Pull a Laura and Sierra move.
If she just made the move of but that's tough, and I don't know if people can do it. But if Kelly, look, it's all hearsay that we watched as viewers and now we're looking back at it. But if she could have made that judgment call of being with my dad's really going to hurt me, I should just, go to them and say, hey guys, I know nobody likes my dad. I'll get rid of him.
I'm sure that's probably pretty damn tough to do when you're looking at your dad, and he really wanted to be there too.
I know. And he must feel so bad as a dad, knowing
he didn't cry when she left.
I know, but but no. Well, and here's the other thing: their backstory, they don't have a close father-daughter relationship.
We never got to find out why they had an estranged relationship.
I know, but that's the thing.
I wrote that down. I was like, what?
I'm sure that's one of the reasons they got on the show, because they have this estranged relationship. Right. So the fact that Kelly gets a super fan and brings her dad because they have this estranged relationship, and he is the reason she gets off. If I'm waiting, I have been waiting 14 years to get on, and I bring someone like that on and they last longer than me, you are no longer my family member.
Whoa.
No, but it would
disown your own dad?
No, I would, if that were my twin brother or my dad and I had any inkling that they were going to get me voted off, goodbye. Wow. I will write your name down.
I'll remember that.
No, Jerri.
If we ever play together, I can't trust you.
No, you can. It's so different.
All right.
Oh my God!
I don't know anymore.
I'm just giving, the devil's advocate here.
Oh my gosh. And I love that, Keith, with his idol, he was all, I was like, oh boy, is he going to get sent home with the idol? I love that he figured out that he was safe enough to not play it. You know, because I just didn't know what his play would be this episode.
I really feel like, and I said a couple episodes, I really feel like it's going to be Josh and Baylor towards the end. I really feel like, especially now, Baylor's in a really good position over there. Josh, so far, is in a good position on Hanapu, and they were really tight. And then they're just going to, I think, link up together when the merge comes. And I think it's going to be a really Josh Baylor show, and then one of them will take out the other, or maybe go to the end together. I don't know. But I really see them as being...
What about Reed?
Like last night, I just was like, something about Baylor this season. I just have a feeling she's going far. And I wasn't I felt like it was going to be Dale. I thought it would be Dale. Mm-hmm. And then when Kelly, and I actually had a friend G-chat me today saying, I feel like Survivor is now editing it so every week feels like a blindside. Like there clearly were conversations about why they should go Kelly versus Dale. And we didn't see any of that. Yeah. And my friend was like, I feel like nowadays they purposely edit the show so we feel like every week is a blindside as a viewer. Because clearly decisions and conversations were made about Kelly. But
there was no inkling at all whatsoever that she was going to go home.
Quote unquote, for us, felt like a blindside. It was Dale or Missy. Yes. Yeah. So, and it was a really good point that I was like, I didn't even think of that all of a sudden it's like every episode we're feeling like is a blindside because we love blindsides as a viewer, but is it really a blindside or is it a blindside because we're feeling that it is?
And is it really a blindside if it's a blindside every week?
These are issue-raising questions. I love it.
Do trees make noise in the woods if there's no one there to hear it?
I don't know.
They do.
They always do.
Give me a break. I never understood that question. I'm like, of course they do.
I know.
So, was there anything we missed? I feel like we're missing something that was...
No, I think we talked about a lot, right?
Yeah, we did. There was fun. It was kind of a slow episode overall, slow. But I like the swap. And I love the dynamic now with the mix-up.
You know last night I'm starting to like the Natalie and Jeremy duo. Like I'm starting to like.
Really?
And I didn't.
You don't like Natalie.
I don't like the twinnies, but I think alone I like a twinnie, not twinnies. But I think she's a player. You know, she's like sitting there with Jeremy at the well, like how are we gonna do this? And like, right. So I like Jeremy and Natalie as a duo together. We'll see how they do. And
yeah, okay. There's something I noticed about this episode. Everybody was like walking off with someone else way too much. Like after a swap, you got to be careful how many times you walk off with one person. It just seemed like there was a lot of let's go walk off by ourselves. When I'm like, don't do that. You know, why do you want to draw attention to yourself?
Who knows? I think we're gonna get a lot of answers to the questions that infuriated us.
Oh my God!
Next week, so I'm really excited about next week. And next week we'll dress up in Halloween costumes.
Yes, we're gonna do our little Halloween episode next week, you guys. We're gonna come in costume.
What?
Yeah.
Last year, Ryan came as Jerry, and Jerry wasn't here, and it was hysterical. So we'll see what we come up with this year.
That's right.
I was Jeff Probst, by the way.
Yeah, you guys have to see what I'm gonna be next week. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. Go to YouTube, watch the video, give us your comments, let us yell at you or thank you, whichever the case may be. Justin, where can people find you?
On Twitter and Instagram, Justin F. Walter.
Nice. And you can find me on Twitter at Jerri Manthey, or just go to jerrimanthey.com and get all the links to all my stuff. Yay. Well, thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Can't wait for another episode of Survivor. Woo!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.